Welcome back, everyone. This is MandoAllDay, back with another video. And in this video, we'll be taking a look at Superman from the DCeased storyline. This is the DC Direct figure. So as always, I'm going to be talking about the figure itself in terms of the articulation, sculpture, and paint, and if it's worth your purchase or not. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the support channel to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So let's take a look at the front of the box. This side, the back, the other side, top, and bottom. Alright, now let's take a look at the figure outside the box. Unfortunately, with these DC Direct ones, they don't come with a card, nor does it come with a stand, and unfortunately does not come with any accessories, so what you see is what you get. So let's take a look at the figure itself, and I gotta say, that head sculpture looks really, really cool. Just look at all that detail on the mouth, the skin ripping. One thing that I just noticed too, especially when you have a light like this, you can really see, I don't know if my camera can pick it up, but that skin rip right there, there's a little bit of a gloss paint to it, so it makes it shine look really, really, you can see that right there perfectly. See that? Right there? That gloss right there looks really good. Same right here, you can really see it right there with that red and ripped up skin, and of course, just look at that grin, look at the eyes, look really, really good. Also on the other side, the same thing. You got that ripped skin, and of course, you got that nice gloss red on it too. And of course, the red paint looks fantastic. The hair sculpture looks good. The paint on the hair is plain looking. Nothing wrong with it, but the sculpture looks fantastic. Head articulation is good. Up, down, good. So head articulation is good. Head sculpture is really good. And that paint is just looks really, really, really good. Shoulder articulation, it does articulate, just mine's really, really stiff. I don't want to break it. Bicep, good. Elbows, good. Wrist, there you go, good. And torso, it does articulate. It's just mine is, you guys can see that a little bit. It does articulate, just mine's really, really stiff. So in terms of the articulation of the arms, they're your typical DC Direct ones. They're good. Let's take a look at the cape before I say anything else. The cape, I actually like the cape. It's plain looking, but I like the little design right there. Clean looking. I like how it's like a bright red, and it gets darker, and then of course it's darker at the bottom. But the cape looks good though. So overall, in terms of the articulation of the upper body, it's good. Very similar to with the other DC Direct ones. It's very, well, I will say for this one though, there is more texture to it in terms of the muscle mass, but anything else in terms of the simple, it's just painted on. It doesn't look bad. It just looks kind of compared to another figure, which I'll show in a bit. So overall, though, what do I think about the upper body? I think it looks good, man. It looks clean looking. Superman, very muscle tone. You got a big arm and bicep. Just look at that. Look right there. Looks really good. I like the painting on his hands on there too. And of course, you got that Superman logo and gets painted on with a little bit of the red drips on there. So overall, it's a good looking figure, clean looking, and it is smooth like I said, but the head sculpture is just top notch. Just look at that. Just look at that. That looks fantastic, man, in my opinion. I really, really dig. The DCeased storyline, like the DCeased wave, I should say, head sculptures are just top notch. I have not seen so far a bad looking head sculpture in the DCeased wave, so there you go. Take a look at the leg articulation. It's good. Knees, oh wow, it's really stiff, but they're good. There is thigh articulation. I know there is because I know other ones have it, but mine is not willing to move because they're really, really stiff. Ankles, good, and unfortunately there's no toes. So leg articulations, typical like any other DC Direct. It's good, and of course for this one, Superman, very muscle tone. You got a little bit of a texture on the boot on there, which is pretty cool. But the paint itself, it looks good. One drawback, as you can see that right there, the joint isn't matching up with the other paint on the boot. You see that? So it looks kind of weird. It's nothing bad or anything. It's something that I noticed though. But lower body, it looks good, man. I can't hate on it. I really dig it. So overall though, what do I think about this figure? Would I recommend it or not? So I got this during the GameStop sale, and for the price that I paid for, and the price that I paid for is, I think it was like $13 or $12 or $11. I don't remember. It's been a while, but for the price that I paid for, definitely a must buy in my opinion. It's a good looking figure if you like this wave, and for the price that I paid for, I definitely thumbs up for me, easily thumbs up for the price that I paid for. I'm emphasizing on the price because for these, the regular price, the retail price is $30. For $30, no way these are worth $30. I'm sorry. You can thumb down the video, you can hate me, but like, I'm gonna be honest. For $30, no way. For this figure, $30 retail price, no. I think a fair price, I can see it $20 is like, okay, not the best deal, but okay, sure, if you want it, okay, fine, $20. And if it's less than $20, I think you're it's a thumbs up easily. But for the price that I paid for, like I said, I think it was like 11 or 12, $13, easily thumbs up. But regardless of the price, what I think about the figure, I gotta say, thumbs up for me on the figure itself. Articulation is good, very muscle tone, the paint's good, the head sculpture is really top notch. I think it's probably one of my favorites so far out of all the DCeased one, except for maybe Red Hood, because I like the red on there, Red Hood. But I'll do a comparison. But overall, the figure itself, easily a thumbs up for me. Here we have another Superman figure. We have Superman from the Blackest Night wave, and of course the DCeased one. And you can see the height difference, and of course the texture on Superman. And they both look good, but of course McFarlane, again, he nails it with the figures. The texture just looks fantastic, especially on this Black Lantern Superman. But there you go, I have a little face off. You guys can see the height difference. Yes, unfortunately this one's a lot shorter compared to this one, but nonetheless, though, they're both good looking figures. Here we have Henry Cavill as Superman. This is the Target exclusive, blue and red Zack Snyder Justice League movie figure, and of course the regular one. And really see the height difference down here, and especially that texture. Just look at that Superman logo on here compared to here. Just having that texture, not even on the Superman logo, but also everything else. It just really pops. So, but yeah, you can see McFarlane's is really good texture material, and just really tall compared to the Superman DCeased one. But they're both good figures nonetheless. So, but there you go. Here we have Superman from the, I don't remember what comic it's from. Wow, I just blanked for a moment right now. I know it's from the Action Comics, somewhat like Future State era, but I don't remember what Superman, so my bad on that. But nonetheless, so Superman from that story, and of course Superman from DCeased. Really underrated figure. Really underrated figure. I look at it and now I'm like, man, this should have been in my top 15. Good looking at it, because it's very muscle tone. Superman logo looks good. The chain's good. The accessories looks good. The head sculpture looks really good. And of course, that shield just looks awesome. But nonetheless, so there you go. Have a little face off between Superman DCeased and Superman Future State story. I can't remember. Sorry. Here we have the Action Comics 1000 Superman. Actually, this is from the Superman 2-pack with Devastator and, of course, the DCeased one. And like I said earlier, you can really see the texture difference in terms of McFarlane and DC Direct. Just look at the Superman logo. Just really shines, and you can see the texture, and it really pops. Same thing with the belt, too. The belt's clean looking, just paint. This one, just texture to it. And again, just looks really good. But man, this is a really good looking Superman. The more looking at it now, I'm like, man, it's a really good looking figure. But of course, the DC Direct one is a bit shorter. It is what it is, though. But again, we can't hate on this figure, though. Here we have Red Hood from the DC Direct DC storyline, and of course the Wave, and of course Superman. And in terms of the height, they're pretty much. You know what? Red Hood is like a jar taller, but. And like I said in the video for this one, just texture on this one looks really good, man. They did a really good job with this Red Hood. And again, the head sculpture is fantastic, especially in that paint on the helmet. Just looks amazing. And okay, a little face off there. The DC Direct, DC storyline wave, but you can see there, unfortunately, this wave in general. It's a lot shorter than McFarlane's, but there you go. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with this figure? Do you plan to purchase this figure? Or did you already purchase this figure? Leave it in the comment section below. As always, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not support channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So this includes an overview of Superman from the DCeased storyline. This is DC Direct. And on to the next one.